1170 AM. It's Sunday night in the Caribbean, man. Hubert McIntosh is a member of the Society for Financial Awareness, and he's the man.
Financial literacy provided by Hubert McIntosh,
CPA.
Financial literacy. Control your financial status.
Here's your host, Hubert McIntosh, CPA.
Good evening, good Sunday evening to you. In South Florida, it's a bit, yes, we are having a little bit of cold front. And I know those of you who are up north will laugh at us when we call this a cold front because we have 70 degrees. We have 70 degrees, and 70 degrees for us is cold front, you know. So it's a cool Sunday evening in South Florida. We appreciate the coolness, you know. We don't want it to go below 60. We can work with it down to 60. So right now, I think it's heading down to that. So, but it's very, very beautiful, and I thank you for joining us on this Sunday evening. As you know, this is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA, and a member of SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness, with one mission to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America and the rest of the world. And I've joined with SOFA to bring that to this community so that we can dispel that statistic that I shared with you in 2014 that FINRA did. FINRA is the Financial Regulatory Authority Board. You know, that's the organization that administers and oversees financial services in America. And what the study showed was that 74% of Americans were financially illiterate, and that was 3 years ago. So you can take a guess whether that has gone down or up. I would want to believe that that percentage has increased greater than 74%. You know, I don't know the exact number, but in dealing with people daily, I can see that the financial illiteracy is at an high rate. You know, so what we are hoping to do with this community is that you don't fall into that statistic, whereas based on the things that we are sharing on the air, we are on every Sunday night. We're on every Sunday night from 8 to 9. So we'll basically, 8 to 9. I'm messing up with JP and CR shows. No, we are on 9 to 10 every Sunday night, 9 to 10. You know, we are with you 1 hour live on the radio, but you have 24/7 access to us. We are in the studio. The number is 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. But you have 24/7 access to us. You can call us directly, 754-366-7311, 754-366-7311. We have a website that you can visit us, financialliteracy.info. financialliteracy.info. You can go on there. You can see what our offerings are. You can see what we're about. We have social media pages. You can link there to Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You can link to Facebook there, and we would appreciate you liking the page. Because as you like the page, what happens, it helps the search engine to find us. And that is you helping not to keep us a secret. We don't want you to keep us a secret. You can like the page. You can share the page with your family and friends. Even now, you have time to share the page tonight, you know, family and friends, and just remind them that financial literacy is on. Tonight, we're going to talk about 2 topics. We're going to wrap up. You know, we have been bombarding you with Medicare, and rightly so, it's a Medicare season. So for the first half of the show, we're going to wrap up with Medicare, where any questions you have related to what we have shared over the past few weeks. And I will also point out some Medicare dates to you. And the second half of the show, I feel the need to go back and share some stuff with you regarding life insurance. There have been a lot of questions to me and the team about life insurance. There's still some confusion out there, and one other thing, I don't know what has happened, but we have seen a lot of increase on Facebook and so forth where people are dying, and people are setting up GoFundMe pages on Facebook to help with the burial of such. So we're going to talk about that, where sometimes we can mitigate some of those problems. Okay? So remember, financialliteracy.info. You go to the social media page. We also have a Twitter. Page. If you tweet to us, we can tweet back. We'll respond, on the website. Whatever questions or comments you have, you can put it there. And also, oh my gosh, I must not be amiss. All the previous shows have been recorded on the website. There is a YouTube. There's a YouTube link. You can click on that YouTube icon and it will take you to YouTube. And one other thing we'd recommend is that you subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel is absolutely complimentary. You subscribe to the challenge and to the channel rather. And the reason for that is anytime there are any updates or changes in the channel on the page, then because of your subscription, you will be notified. So anytime we have added a show or even modify a show, it would be communicated to you. So we just thank you. So remember now, we are in Sunday school. So I have given you enough time. You can get your pen, get your paper. I'm going to share some statistics and some data which is necessary for you to make note of, especially regarding the Medicare. We're going to talk to you about what the dates mean. Sometimes there's a little bit of confusion about there. What are the different dates and what do they mean? Like you'll hear, like right now, you're hearing people says annual election period. What does that mean? So we're going to talk about the dates for Medicare. That's the main focus we're going to talk about tonight. The dates, the different dates for Medicare and the resources that are available to you provided by CMS. CMS is the Center for Medical Services in America. CMS is the organization that manages Medicare. Okay? So we're going to share some of that with you in the first half of the show. And I encourage you, if you have any questions, just give us a call. We are in the studio, 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. Right. So regarding Medicare, we have given you over the past few weeks, we have given you the different definitions. We have given you Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B, Medicare Part C, Medicare Part D. We have shared all of that with you. We have shared with you what it is, when do you enroll, what does your enrollment mean. We have differentiated between Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement and original Medicare. I think we have given you the full basics over the past few weeks, but if there's anything that we may have neglected to mention, please send us that communication, whether by a comment on the website or an email, support@financialliteracy.info, support@financialliteracy.info. Or you can even call into the studio and remind us and ask us to talk about a particular thing that we may have missed or something that may be on your mind. And we will certainly address that. And like I said, also you can contact us directly. We have a direct line for you, 754-366-7311, 754-366-7311. So you call us. If you don't get it, just leave a message and we will get back to you. We try to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. But due to sometimes unforeseen circumstances, we may not. But, rest assured that we will definitely get back with you. So thank you. Thanks again for all our listeners out there. We got our regular listeners. We have been on the air since January 1st. We have had listeners with us, following us since then. Friends, family, loved ones, we thank you all. We have new listeners who have just joined us this month. We thank you also. We thank you for your feedback that you have been giving us orally, verbally, and even written. We appreciate it, because anytime you take on a task or something, you want to know if you are serving the purpose, because our purpose is to serve you. That's our number one purpose, is to serve you by bringing you financial literacy. So after checking out the YouTube channel and see the past recordings, if there are items that we may not have covered, please, you would be doing us a great favor by pointing it out to us. Like for instance, the second part of tonight, I'm going to go into life insurance, and we'll probably follow up on that next week. It's because of request where there are certain confusion out there, whereas people are asking, we'd like you to talk more about that. So our goal is to please and to serve you. So obviously we're gonna talk about things that's important to you, because it's not about us. In serving, when one decides to serve, it's the person that you're serving. It's the recipient it's never about the server, it's about the servee. Because if you I don't even know if there's such a word as servee, but it just goes in line where you talk about mortgagor, your mortgagee, you have lessor, you have lessee. So I don't know if this is a word I'm creating. For those of my Scrabble friends there, they may challenge that word and says, there's no such word as servee, but it seems fitting, like for instance, if we are the server, then the person who is receiving is a servee. So it sounds like it makes sense. It sounds like it makes sense. If there's no such word, you can certainly correct me. So thank you very much. So the period that's going on right now in the Medicare field is annual election period, sometimes more commonly known as AEP. That period every year is October 15th to December 7th. October 15th to December 7th. But if my memory serves me right, I'll have to confirm this. My memory serves me right. This year, in the affected areas of the hurricane, either Irma and Maria, like in Texas and Florida, I believe that period is extended to December 31st. I believe so. Not 100% sure. So check me out on that. But every year, the AEP, it's October 15th to December 7th. So what does that period mean? When it says AEP, annual election period, it's a period of time when you can enroll in Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plan for the next calendar year. What that simply mean is that no matter what plan you have during AEP, you can change it. Yes, you can change it. Because you may not have a plan that you're satisfied with. You can change the plan to a better plan that serves your purpose. And you notice I'm emphasizing your purpose, because the plan that may be better for your neighbor may not be better for you. And this is why it's necessary that you speak to Medicare specialists. Yes, you have Medicare specialists. You know, I'm a Medicare specialist. You have lots of Medicare specialists out there. You can also contact CMS or Medicare.gov. But you got to remember one thing I want to point out to you. Sometime people will communicate and they says, well, I contacted them, but I did not get the full guidance. Folks, keep in mind, these people are not necessarily Medicare specialists. They work with Medicare. So basically, they are facilitating your questions. They are not gonna come off as Medicare specialists, because in each particular area, when you call and you get an option and you select the option, that person in that particular department is gonna respond to the things in their department. It doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna be speaking to someone about original Medicare and you expect that person that you call CMS to talk to you about original Medicare, and you expect that person to know about Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement. It's not guaranteed that that person may know. Some of them may know because of their experience. But when you contact them for original Medicare, the main purpose that they're serving there is to identify your eligibility, where they're going to tell you, are you eligible for Medicare? That's what they're going to tell you. So they're going to tell you, are you eligible? They're going to tell you what you're eligible for. They're going to tell you about the fees, like Medicare Part B. They're going to tell you that the monthly enrollment fee is $135 approximately. They are going to tell you those things that are factual in you enrolling. But when you start asking them to tell you about the comparison between Medicare, Medicare Advantage, Medicare Supplement, and this company or that company, they are not trained. They are not trained for that. So please don't call and beat them up and says, well, Sally or Mary did not answer that. That's not Sally's job. You have Medicare specialists that you can find and you can ask those questions. And those questions are the answers to those are complementary. As a Medicare specialist, we cannot charge you to answer questions regarding those services. Are complementary in the sense what the government has done. Depending on the plan that you're set up on, a Medicare specialist is not paid by you. So if someone is trying to charge you in giving you Medicare advice, be careful about that, because there are no fees to you for someone giving you advice. Yes, it's totally complimentary. So you may ask, so how are the Medicare specialists paid? The Medicare specialists are paid by CMS. Yes, they're paid by the government. So what the government has done, even though when you call the Medicare office, you go on Medicare.gov, you have the number to contact us. They are quite aware that their staff is not equipped It's not equipped to be a specialist because it's a specialized, you know, anything with government, it's a specialization of duty where that person is going to respond to certain things, not necessarily everything related to Medicare. So what the government has done in the sense that they have arranged that Medicare specialists who are appointed with different companies, when they assist you, we are signing up, because for communicating with you, that's absolutely free. But sometimes when you sign up now, like if you're going to change a plan and the Medicare specialist change that plan for you to a better plan that fits your need, that person is not paid by you. So be careful if someone tries to charge you for that, because they shouldn't, because they are being paid by the government. So I want to point that out to you. So AEP is that time of the year between October 15th and December 7th when you can make any changes. Incidentally, like today being October 29th, you can make a change today. Yep. And in 2 weeks, because it's not yet December 7th, if you're not satisfied with that plan, is as you learn and you're studying some more and you hear other things and you may realize, well, wow, that plan won't fit my need. You can change the plan. Because keep in mind, during AEP, which is happening now between October 15th and December, when you sign up or you make changes during this period of time, the change is to be effective January 1st, 2018. So keep that in mind. That's why it says that you can change, because you may sign up for a plan tomorrow, which is October 30th, and then 2 weeks later you realize that this plan does not serve your need. You can change that plan up through December 7th, because the effective date is January 1st, 2018. There's one exception to that. If the person is just getting onto Medicare, they've just turned 65 and they're getting onto Medicare. If you use that same example that I gave you, if the person sign up on October 30th and this is their first time on Medicare, they have the option that it can be effective November 1st. You get me? They can sign up October 30th to be effective November 1st, but that's for first time enrollee. But if you're making a change, your effective date is January 1st, 2018. And that's how it works each AEP. When someone changes, the effective date is the subsequent January 1st. Okay? I hope that I have cleared that part up. All right. There is another period of time you're going to hear about, because then you says, okay, that's up to December. What happens after December 7th? There is another period called ADP, Annual Disenrollment Period. Yes, Annual Disenrollment Period. So you notice the first one I mentioned, October 15th through December 7th, is Annual Election Period. So January 1 through January 14 is Annual Disenrollment Period. You know what that means now? It's that period of time you can disenroll and return to original Medicare enrollment or in a standalone prescription drug plan. So you can disenroll. Here's a challenge though, that you have to be careful now. Because if you disenroll from a Medicare Advantage between January 1 through February 14, you're not necessarily able to join a different Medicare Advantage plan at this time. And this is the part where sometimes it's confusing, where someone says, yes, but if I disenroll, won't I have Medicare? Yes, you'll have Medicare, but you'll have original Medicare. Remember, there are the distinctions. You have original Medicare, right? You have Medicare Advantage, and you have Medicare Supplement. Those are the three main distinctions with Medicare there. Original Medicare, which covers Part A and Part B. But the challenge, and I want you to be aware of that, original Medicare covers Part A and Part B, but Part B, which is for doctors, you, the enrollee, has a 20% copay. Yes, you have a 20% copay with no limit. That 20% copay can go to 10,000, 20,000, 40, whatever it is. So that's the reason sometimes people will join a Medicare Advantage plan or a Medicare Supplement plan, because a Medicare Advantage plan and a Medicare Supplement plan has a maximum out of pocket. That's where you'll never pay more than a certain amount. But with original Medicare, Part B does not have a limit. It's 20% copay. So if the doctor bill is 100,000, and you may say, well, that's ridiculous. Yes, you do have doctor bills that are 100,000. If you have a doctor bill that's 100,000 and the 20%, and you have a 20% copay, that's $20,000. I hope that part sunk in. And this is why it's necessary that you get with a Medicare specialist, okay? All right. There's another period that is important, SEP. So I've spoken to you about AEP, ADP, and now SEP. SEP is a special election period. So because you follow the calendar date, because ADP ends February 14. So between February 15th and October 14th, the day prior to the next AEP, there is something called a SEP, which is a special enrollment period for different reasons where you can make changes. Like, say, for instance, if someone moves to a different area, whether it's from a different state or from a different city, because they're not in that particular city anymore, yes, there is a special enrollment period where you can make changes that serves your need there because you have moved out of the coverage area. So I hope that has cleared up some of the give you some understanding there about the period. So the Medicare period enrollment, AEP, ADP, and SEP. And as I said to you, I've always said it, Sunday nights 9 to 10 is the fastest hour of the week. Fastest hour. Because as you know it, we're already up on the first half hour. But I've cleared up what I mentioned to you. I wanted to talk to you about the period. So we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to go back into some life insurance and clear up some confusion there. So stick and stay with us. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA. We will be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking and staying with us. We are in the second half of the program. This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA, and a member of SOFA. SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness, with one mission, one goal, to help eradicate financial illiteracy in America and the rest of the world. I've joined with Sofa to bring it to this community. And our purpose and our goal, as I've said to you from day one, January 1st this year, is to help you develop a personal economic model in finance. In the sense that finance has so much areas, and each person has to have a personal economic model, in the sense that what fits one person is not necessarily going to fit the other. So it's necessary for you to have your own plan. So this second half, we're in the studio, 954-792-1170, 954-792-1170. Give us a call. Comments, feedback, critiques, whatever it is, you can call us. If you don't want to call, you can make the comment, financialliteracy.info. Go on the website, financialliteracy.info. We have our media page. You can go Facebook. You can go Twitter. We have the YouTube. We have the YouTube channel. You can go on there and you can listen to past recordings. Okay? And you have direct access. 754-366-7311. 754-366-7311. So, in this second half, I want to talk about life insurance. Life insurance. We have spoken about it before. There are recordings that we have about life insurance. But life insurance continues to be one of those confusing topics. Yes, continues to be one of those confusing topics, because what has happened, and even in the life insurance field, a lot of people are looking at life insurance the way they looked at it 30, 40 years ago, or what they may have heard people say. But remember the example, the great comparison I like, if we're going to use 30 years ago. Remember we talk about the cell phone. Cell phone was first introduced in 1986. Yeah, that's 31 years ago. 31 years ago, the first cell phone was a Motorola brick phone. It was a phone that was so huge you almost had to carry it. It had almost like an attache case where you're walking it. And why it was called a brick phone, it's because the size of it was like a brick. Yeah. And that's why it was called a brick phone. Nothing else. It's the size of it and the shape of it. It was like a brick. So you would have this phone and it's like a brick. It's like you're carrying a brick in your hand if you didn't have it in a case. So sometimes now people will have it in a case, but the phone itself was like a brick. So you're holding it. It's like you're holding a brick in your hand. So what that means in that sense, that it was so huge that you couldn't have a cell phone and people didn't know. And the average price back then for a cell phone, for those of you who know or don't even remember, the average price back then for that Motorola brick phone was $3,500. Yes, that seems hard to believe right now, but it was $3,500 for the phone itself. That's just the phone. And you didn't have these plan where you have the phone with minutes. You had to buy the minutes separate. And I see sometimes now we talk about minutes, and back then the minutes were like 69 cents a minute. You talk about 69, 79, 89 cents a minute for a cell phone. Yes. So here you had the challenge of buying the phone, So you have to be able to afford that. Buying the phone, but buying the phone, you're just getting the phone. You're not getting the minutes. You would have to buy the minutes separately. And back then, the lowest price per minute was like about $69. And you may say, well, Hubert, how do you happen to know? I happen to work at a company that sold, I was the accountant at a company that sold that phone back then. So that's why I know some of these details regarding that. So fast forward 30 years now to a cell phone now. You have cell phone now that you don't buy the cell phone. You don't buy the cell phone. The cell phone is included in the package. Yeah, it's included in the package and you have a certain number of minutes. So what am I saying in that cell phone has evolved over because, and back then, the next thing I must be amiss to not to say this. Back then, all the cell phone did, this same $3,500 phone was to make and to receive calls. That's the only thing it could have done, was to make and receive call. You didn't have anything called text. There was no text. There was no text message. The closest thing we had 30 years ago to text message was people would have a beeper. Yeah, you'd have something called a beeper where someone would dial a number. You'd get this message in this little device like a lighter or the description or a little matchbox. That was a beeper. And then what you would do, you would get the number that beep you, and then you'd use the phone to call back the number. That's 30 years ago. I'm not talking about 300 years ago. That's 30 years ago. So I like to use that analogy because life insurance is the same. So what life insurance was 30 years ago, it has evolved in a similar way to the cell phone. So if you have an old life insurance policy, whether necessarily 30 years ago or 20 or 10 years, you need to have your life insurance policy evaluated. In other words, you need an upgrade. Yeah, you need an upgrade. So I just wanted to talk to you about the history of that, in the sense that, and one of the saying that we use in this program is that if what you thought to be true turn out not to be true, when would you want to know? And I'm going off the assumption that you would want to know now. So without you giving me that feedback, we're here in the studio. You can call us. Give us your comments. 954-792-1170. 954-792-1170. So I want to go into the introduction and just remind you. I know some of you know it and some of you don't. So for those of you who know it, please pardon us as we repeat it, because it's for the benefit of those who may have known, may not have known, and have not remembered. Life insurance. So what is life insurance? Life insurance now, I'm talking about now, 2017. Life insurance is a multi-purpose financial planning tool. Yes, 30 years ago, life insurance was not a multi-purpose financial planning tool. It was not. 30 years ago, life insurance was for mainly death benefit. You bought life insurance back then for protection for mainly the breadwinner, where you buy the life insurance just in case the person dies. And people use a term, and I'll just go along with it, use the term prematurely. I don't know if there's such a thing, but since people use it, we're going to go along it, where it says, the person, how many times you hear the term, the person die prematurely? And it's a word that we use, and we use it loosely. prematurely, the person died prematurely. But if we look at life in itself, life is not promised to any of us. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us, in the sense that you're going to have people die at 20. You're going to have people die at 50. You're going to have people die at 70. You're going to have people die at 100. So it's not guaranteed how long each of us is going to live. So when we say prematurely, what do we really mean when we say prematurely? So, one person may die at 60. You're going to say it's prematurely? Yes, but you have another person live until 117. So, so we use the term prematurely, but it's one of those debatable topic also, using the terminology prematurely. But 2017, so let's come back into the room to 2017. We're talking about life insurance is a multi-purpose financial planning tool. And you're like, oh my gosh, Hubert, you're talking about financial literacy. What does that mean? Life insurance is primarily designed, it was primarily designed to protect family financial security after you die. That was the primary function. But remember, just because something had a primary function, it doesn't mean that's the only function. But it's primarily, it's like the phone. Back to the phone again. The primary function for a phone is to make and receive calls. That's the primary function. But now we have smartphones which are like a computer. Even though its original purpose is to make and receive calls, a smartphone can do so many things. Most of us we don't even use 10% of what our smartphone can do. The phone is so smart, it outsmarts us. We don't even use 10%. I have two smartphones right here with me. I don't even know 10% of it. Because you have all these little different things. You have the computer part of it. You have the game part of it. You have this app. You have that app. You have all these things. It's the same with life insurance. It was primarily designed to protect family financial security after you die. But what has happened? It has evolved. So now its secondary purpose is to help protect your financial security while you are alive. Yes, while you are alive. It's not necessarily that you have to die to benefit from what life insurance can do. My wife and I, we were just with a couple of friends, and they were sharing with us a story about a lady, one of their friends. She had a life insurance. And the doctor diagnosed that she's gonna die anytime now. I don't remember the time it says, but basically they're telling her, get her affairs together. She's finished. She's gone. So she had one of those life insurance where you could accelerate the death benefit. Because you have those life insurance, you can accelerate the death benefit. If the death benefit is 100,000, 200,000, whatever it is, you can accelerate up to 85% of the death benefit. Well, lo and behold, this lady accelerated the death benefit. She accelerated the death benefit, and that's 7 years ago. The lady's still alive. So what she did, she accelerated the death benefit, and she used that money. It was large enough that she used that money to start a business. So like that lady, you're speaking to that lady now about life insurance. You can't tell her about it's for people who are dead. She's alive. She was diagnosed 7 years ago with some kind of cancer, and the doctors told her to get her life in order because she's finished. That lady claimed it. She says, no, I'm not finished. I want to see my daughter get married. And it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years. The lady's daughter is now married. You see what I'm saying? So life insurance is not just for death. So let's talk about when you die. Life insurance. Let's talk about the part about death benefits then. Because we're going to talk about death benefits. We're going to talk about living benefits. Death benefits. When you die, life insurance can do some of the following things. It can help pay off your debts and taxes. Yeah. If you owe debts and taxes, you can pay it off. There's a contradictory people there think that when you die, the debt and the taxes that you have, they just gone. Yeah, you have people believe that the debts that you have is just totally wiped away because you're dead. And that's not so. It depends on what agreement you signed. Because you may have signed an agreement that those debts that you have follow you. Especially if you're married or something and you're thinking that this thing is gone. But when your spouse signed it, you were a part of it because they signed up as a married person. So when someone died, the life insurance can pay off the debts and taxes. Because even when someone dies, you know that there has to be a final tax return, right? You didn't know that? Yeah. You have to do a final tax return. So it can do that. It can support your dependents' goals and dream. Guys, this is the topic why I said to you. You know what I said here? Support your dependents' goals and dreams. And this is one of the sad parts to talk about. Do you know many a times you go to a funeral? Many a times you go to a funeral and you see the people crying. You know one of the scary part? Sometimes you see the people crying and you're thinking that they're crying because they missed the person. Folks, don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing it. I'm not telling you that people are not crying because they don't miss the loved one that has passed away. But I can tell you this for a fact. This is not a speculation. This is not a supposition. Many a times you see those people crying. It's because the pressure, what's gonna happen, because this person died and leave all these challenges. Just a couple of days ago, my wife was just sharing, and where someone was on Facebook, and I noticed it's a common thing lately. People are opening GoFundMe pages. GoFundMe are different vehicle pages asking for assistance to even bury the people. Because do you realize burying someone is not inexpensive. Burying someone is very expensive. Very expensive. Some of you may not even realize how expensive burying someone is. Very, very expensive. And so one of the things we need to consider is, okay, how much do we care about our loved one where we're going to leave them with these burdens? So it's just one of those things with death benefits. Whereas that death benefit can support your dependents' goals and dreams, like for instance, one of them my wife shared with me was this young guy in his 30s, married, two children under the age of 10, 2 children and a wife. And they're on Facebook, begging money to help to bury this person. Folks, it's not an easy topic to discuss. Do you see the challenge for that family? Wife, 2 kids, under 10 years old. What happened to the dreams and goals of this family? You think that young man didn't have dreams? You think this couple didn't have dreams? You think they didn't have dreams? They had dreams. They had dreams for themselves. They had dreams for their children. But here's the word. Here's the word. And a lot of you going to use that word. He died prematurely. Yeah, he died prematurely. Because a lot of times we stop and we forget the brevity of life. We look at life and we think that, oh, what we hear on the news, it's not going to be us. Oh, we're going to live till 100. Folks, I'm sorry to say. I talked to you about the statistics about 2050, that there will be 4 million centenarians. You notice it's going to be 4 million. It didn't say 100 million. It didn't say 200 million. So what's going to happen? That means some of us would have already died. Some of us, this topic is not, this is in the financial industry. This is the hardest topic to talk about. It's the hardest topic, but I would be doing you a disservice if I don't talk about it. Because if I'm here saying I'm going to serve you and I don't talk about this topic, I'll be doing you a disservice. It's not an easy topic to talk about. It's not a very easy topic. But here it is, I'm here and I'm saying to you, I want to teach you financial literacy, and I don't talk to you about insurance. I don't talk to you about the life. Life is a life itself. It's a puff of air. We're here 1 minute and we're gone. We're gone. We're gone. You're talking to somebody tonight. You're laughing with them tonight. You get a phone call tomorrow. Hey, you heard the news? Johnny drowned yesterday. Johnny was in a car accident. When? I just spoke with Johnny last night. Yeah, it happened this morning. Oh my God. And then we go into the premature thing. It's life, folks. It's life. There are 170 people in America dies every day in a car accident. Every day. 170. But a lot of times we think that it's not going to be us. It's not going to be us. America, here we are. Most of us are here in America. The land of the free, the home of the brave. You know the scary part? America. Do you know America has the largest suicide rate? How can the land of the free, the home of the brave, have the largest suicide rate in the entire world? Largest suicide rate. Wow. Yeah, I know we're going off on a solemn note. You know, the time is up on us. But we got to pick this up back next week, because it's not something we can sweep under the rug, folks. We cannot sweep under the rug. We're going to pick it up back next week, because I want to share with you the different types of life insurance and the cost. Some people not realizing how inexpensive life insurance can be. And we're going to talk about that next week. Okay? So prepare yourself, prepare your loved ones, mark it on your calendar. We're going to dive into it. We're going to share with you the different types of life insurance and also some of the costs. It's less expensive than you think in some ways, okay? This is Hubert McIntosh, your CPA, a member of SOFA, the Society for Financial Awareness, bringing you financial literacy. So thank you for joining us. Have a good evening, and we will see you next week.